You can talk about her for hours, but when she's finally close enough to hear you, your voice dies. You rehearse the perfect opener in your head, then watch yourself walk past her like a background character in your own life. This video isn't about pickup lines. It's about why your body slams the brakes the moment real connection appears, and how to quietly unhook that loop. Stay until the end, and you'll walk away with a frame you can't unsee, one that makes staying silent feel heavier than simply telling her the truth. This is PsycheLure, the voice in your head that doesn't scream at you or sugarcoat anything. It just shows you why asking out one girl feels so much bigger than every other risk you take. Section 1. Your lore. How a crush becomes your personality. At first, she's just a girl you like. Then she turns into a storyline your friends expect from you. Every break you say, "I'll talk to her today," and they nod like they've seen this episode before. Each time you don't move, you don't just let them down, you teach your own brain that your promises are background noise. That's how a crush becomes lore, a role you play loudly for others while staying silent around the only person it's about. Section 2. The moment you finally move and why it was doomed. One day, the pressure stops feeling funny and starts feeling like a verdict. Everyone knows the script now, and they're quietly watching to see if you finally change it. A friend throws the line that slices through every excuse. "So, are you actually going to do it or not?" You move because backing down in front of him feels worse than being rejected by her. But inside, you're walking toward her with no bridge built, no shared moments, just a single question carrying your whole ego on its back. Section 3. Post-L autopsy. What you think it means about you. After that moment, life goes on for everyone else, but not for you. They forget the scene by lunch. You replay it that night like a crime documentary in your head. You zoom in on every detail, her expression, your tone, who was standing nearby, and your brain quietly writes a verdict. This proves I'm not the guy girls choose. One awkward interaction becomes evidence for a whole identity. That's how shame works. It doesn't just say, "That went badly." It whispers, "This is who you are now." And because it hurts too much to feel that directly, you make jokes about it with your friends, as if you're laughing at the scene, when really, you're hiding how deeply you believe the story it created about you. Section 4. The second scheme. When intelligence becomes delusion. So you tell yourself you've learned. Next time, you won't be reckless. You'll be strategic. Months later, you build a whole plan. A perfectly timed message from a burner account, a playlist you send through a mutual friend, a carefully staged accidental run-in where she just happens to be sitting alone. It feels smarter because you're finally doing something. But notice what doesn't change. You're still terrified of standing in front of her as yourself. This is where anxious and avoidant parts of you shake hands. The anxious part can't stop thinking about her. It needs proximity, signals, clues. The avoidant part refuses direct exposure, so it hides behind layers of cleverness, hoping she'll somehow decode the message without you ever having to say, "It's me, I like you." The more complicated the scheme, the more control you feel, and the less real contact you actually have. That's not confidence. That's fear wearing a high IQ costume. Section 5. The deeper pattern. You don't fear women, you fear being seen. Here's the part most guys miss. You don't just fear her answer. You fear what you will think of yourself if she sees you clearly and still says no. On the surface, it looks like you're scared of one girl. Underneath, you're terrified that you are exactly as ordinary, as forgettable as you secretly suspect. So you build a character instead. The guy with the crush, the romantic, the one who would do anything for her. That image becomes your armor and your addiction. Thanks to social media, you're never just living a moment. You're imagining how it would look if someone filmed it. Even in your fantasy of asking her out, you see angles, reactions, comments. Not two humans talking, but a scene being judged. No wonder your body freezes. It's not just her watching. It's the entire imaginary audience in your head, ready to rate your courage, your looks, your worth. So you delay, you overplan, you turn this one conversation into a final exam on whether you're enough. And as long as you treat it that way, you'll keep choosing fantasy over reality. Because in fantasy, you never have to find out. Section 6. Rewriting the script. What a non-delulu move looks like. So let's take the drama out of it. A non-delulu move doesn't start with a grand confession. It starts with becoming a real person in her world. That might mean you talk to her once in a hallway about something simple, then do it again next week, then again, until your nervous system learns, I can survive being seen. When you finally ask her out, it isn't a Hail Mary thrown from across the stadium. It's one more honest sentence in a line of honest sentences. You don't need a perfect speech. You need one clean line said from a body that isn't trying to sprint away from itself. Something like, "Hey, I like talking to you. Would you want to grab coffee with me sometime?" If she says no, it stings, but it doesn't erase you, because you've already built proof that you can show up as yourself and not disappear. Section 7. Quiet warning, quiet permission. Boys keep building legends about their crush. Men build real moments with them. If you stay addicted to the story in your head, you'll keep replaying the same season of your life with different faces, calling it fate when it's really avoidance. Asking her out is not about winning the girl. It's about choosing truth over the costume you've been hiding behind. You're allowed to be nervous, to stumble, to not know exactly what to say. What matters is that, for once, your actions and your feelings are finally on the same side. If this gave you language for something you've only ever felt as chaos inside, hit like so it reaches more men who are stuck in the same loop. Subscribe to PsycheLure if you want more calm, surgical dives into the psychology behind the people you can't stop thinking about, and the patterns you're tired of repeating. We've barely touched what happens when you become the one they can't forget, the ghost in someone else's mind. That's a different kind of power and a different kind of responsibility. For tonight, let this be enough. One girl you like, one honest sentence, and a version of you that finally steps out of the background.